I mean, this is, I would argue, Harry and Meghan down to a T. And I think it's fair to say they're now an international laughingstock. Your views?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really enjoyed it. It was South Park at its most bitingly brilliant. I think it went back to sort of the golden age of South Park, and it sort of mercilessly skewered the pomposity and absurdity, actually, of the Duke and Duchess, as you quite rightly say. And what they did, I think, really well in this episode is not just expose how ridiculous it is for a privileged prince and princess to have these minor grievances, but it's also to actually expose their hypocrisy. Just in the title, Worldwide Privacy Tour, which shows them arriving in this quiet neighborhood of South Park, where they begin bashing drums and setting off fireworks, saying, "We demand our privacy." This has made them a laughingstock, and of course, I mean, if I was Harry and Meghan, I would be firing my PR company because, quite frankly, it was all so predictable what was going to happen to them. There's a golden rule that's always existed, which essentially says, if you want to avoid media intrusion and being made a laughingstock, you have to stay out of the spotlight. And when you look at people like, Diana or Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, these people who actively court the media and try to promote themselves, invariably become victims of it. And you contrast them with people who are more shy, like Daniel Day-Lewis or, Barbara Streisand or someone, to see that's the way that you really do get privacy.
No, exactly. Or indeed me. I mean, anyone who's ever met me will know I hate the limelight, and I hate the idea of being centre of attention. And I, as you well know, Rafe, I do not like to bring up the fact that I was in that Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. It's the most watched thing ever on Netflix. But no, I don't like to bring it up, so we won't talk about it. Respect my privacy, Rafe. But now that they've done for themselves over here, now that they've done for themselves in America, there's even talk about them potentially deciding to move to Africa. Rafe, one would imagine the unconscious bias they'd have to fight over there would be absolutely catastrophic.
Well, they better stay out of South Africa because they're already persona non grata there for having spoken and made several insults about South Africa unintentionally, including describing their luxurious residence that they were given as some sort of shack and shanty town, and having a very different idea of who they encountered in terms of Nelson Mandela and so forth compared to what recollections from people who were there at the time had. I think really this really shows how much of a disaster Harry's book has been. Newsweek magazine in America has shown that their poll rating has plummeted by 45 points since December. They were in positive numbers before December. Now they're both around -14 for Meghan, -7 for Prince Harry. America was supposed to be their safe space, but they seem to have done all that they could to make themselves unpalatable there. Why has this happened? Because, well, Americans didn't really know them that well. All they got to see were the sort of Hollywood glamorous moments. We in this country knew them very well. We couldn't understand why Americans took to them so warmly, but now we know. It's because they didn't know them too well. The more they see of them, the more they hear from them, the lower their ratings fall. And of course, complete disaster for Meghan's pipe dream of one day running to become president of the United States. I think that's more than on the back burner.
It's more than on the back burner, exactly that. Look, Rafe, thank you very much, as ever. Rafe Heydel-Mankoo, there's royal broadcaster and commentator. I think the fact is, right, that it's all very well and good people coming out and criticising Harry and Meghan, and maybe they can take that. Maybe they can say, oh, well, it's all due to your unconscious bias. But what's going to be very tricky for them to deal with now is the fact that they are being laughed at, and laughed at hard, really. And I think that's going to be quite cutting for them.